My name is David. Welcome to Moose on the Loose, your source of uncorrupt media. Speaking of corruption, Chrystia Freeland, she's been doing something dirty in the behind the scenes here. Now, this is a story that goes back a couple years. It's one I just learned about, and I'm sure most of you probably haven't heard about this either. It's quite shocking. So she likes to put on this image you can see here of her riding her bike. Oh, there she is, riding her bike. Oh, there she is again, riding her bike. Oh, and more riding her bike. You know, and there's that one clip she's saying, oh, I take the subway, I take my kids, we walk, I don't even own a car. Yet we all know she drives around in a limo. I have a video exposing that, but what I didn't know about at the time is there's something a little bit not so eco about her limo use. Now, first off, before we get to that, let's just talk about this. So when you wear a bike helmet, as someone who rode my bike all the way through my 20s, I didn't have a car. I was actually someone who had a very low carbon footprint. This is not how you wear a helmet. This is the point of impact right here. So if a car hits you and you fly off, this is the spot that's going to hit. Hence, the helmet has to cover this spot. This is not how you wear a helmet. And she's done this multiple times. Another one right there. This is not how you wear a helmet. I don't know who taught you how to wear a helmet, but yeah, that's not how it works. And Whoever's the savage, this is from Open Art. Whoever's the savage on the internet who made this one. Oh, God. So this story was broken by Sheila Gunn-Reid at Rebal News back a couple years ago, and she put in an access for information request and found out that Chrystia Freeland, she flies to one location, say Ottawa to Montreal or to Washington or any of the locations around there, but she'll get her limo driver to drive her limo to that location. Then she gets in the limo, rides around, gets the driver to drive around in that location. Then she flies back. Is that not the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard? Here, let's just take a look at this.
June 2017 includes a 495-kilometer trip in the limo, June 12th. On that very same day, Freeland's flight records indicate that she flew to Montreal to participate in the 2017 Conference of Montreal. Now, that's a roughly 400-kilometer round trip in a car, Ottawa to Montreal and back, meaning the limo drove all the way to Montreal empty to drive Freeland around Montreal, only to drive back empty while she flew both ways and charged you for both the limo and the flight. June 21st, 2017, the same page, we have a 545-kilometer trip in the limo. I matched that to Freeland's flight records, and she doesn't have anything happening that day. However, the previous day, she arrived back from a ministerial trip to Cancun, and a trip from her riding to Ottawa is about 450 kilometers. Okay, on page 47, August 2017, we have a 575-kilometer trip, August 28th. According to Freeland's flight records, she went to Montreal to attend government meetings. So,
wait a second here. What kind of flight costs $726 to fly from Ottawa to Montreal? You can fly from like Vancouver to Calgary for like a couple $100, at least back in 2017? Yeah, you could have done that for like $100, $200. Is she flying first class? Look at his accommodation, $1,000. Unbelievable. She just loves just draining our bank account. Our tax dollars just straight out the window.
Again, she flew to Montreal and had the limo follow her to drive her around in Montreal, and then the limo came back empty while she flew home. October 15th, 2017, page 45. Freeland's limo has a 490-kilometer trip on it, but she has no flights that day. However, that's just a little over the distance from her home riding in Toronto to Ottawa, where the next day she flew to Washington.
Look at that, $1,600. You could fly down to you could fly to Hong Kong for that. Jeez, it was first class every time. She must. Look at this, meals, like just racking it up,
Let's move ahead to 2018. Page 37, January 2018, we have a 510-kilometer trip in the limo, January 19th. I've got nothing on her flight list. 3 days later, she leaves for Davos. Again, the trip back to her home.
Airfare, $15,000. Did she buy a new plane? You can fly to like Australia and back 4 times. What? This is 2018. This is before COVID. What's going on? Does she have like 10 masseuses on the plane? Like, she's got to pay that money back, man. That's garbage.
Home riding from Ottawa is about 450 kilometers. Then we have a 365 kilometer trip in the limo on January 29th, 2018. I matched that up to Freeland's flight records, and guess what? She's back in Montreal for NAFTA meetings. Meaning again, the limo made the about 400 kilometer round trip to Montreal to cart Freeland around, coming back empty and going there empty, while Freeland flew both ways and charged you for both.
This is unbelievable. This is absolutely unbelievable. Like, this is coming from someone who's a part of the whole push of green, green, green and the whole carbon tax, yet burning fossil fuels from two different sources. Unbelievable. This is just, do you hear that? Wee, wee, wee. It's the hypocrite police. Freeland, you just, come on. Oh, this is, you gotta pay all those flights back. Once we get you guys out of power, we're billing you $15,000. All those other ones, you're gonna take the first class value of all of that. You get coached. That's it. I understand that our political leaders should be at the top of the pyramid, hence their time is more valuable than money. But in this case, they're actually the least valuable members of our society. How's that carbon tax doing for everyone? Good, good, good. So yeah, that's all I got to say for this one. What else is there to say aside from learn to put on a helmet properly? Thanks for the carbon tax, you hypocrite. You carbon hypocrite. Stay warm, stay fed. See you guys in the next one.